All right, so with this graffiti project, what we're gonna do is, number one, figure out the design of our graffiti style. Number two, turn it into graffiti by making more of a bubble style letter around it. And then picking out our color choices and learning how to do value. And then completely finishing it. So having all of your bubble letters, the outline that goes around your shape, and that extra detail that you added to your work. Then we're gonna start adding our color. So step one is to come up with a design for your name and then adding elements to it to give it more of a pop. So I added something like mermaids or under the sea kind of style. After I came up with this design, I moved on to drawing out my name, how I wanted it, and then creating the bubble around my letters. Then adding those small details. So I kind of played around with it a little bit first before I got to my final. So you can see that in this one I created a fin or a tail. And from this picture to this picture, it turned around a little bit. So just playing around with your shapes and your ideas to come up with your final decision. The next thing is your color choices. So what I want you to think about is, depending on the color of your brick wall, if you have like blue tones, green tones, purple tones in your back or your brick wall, then you should choose colors that are warm colors, reds, oranges, yellows, pinks, so that they pop from the brick wall. If you have warm color backgrounds, brick walls, like reds, oranges, and yellows, then choose cool colors. You can also go monochromatic, which is going from one color and then either adding black to have it darken or white to lighten it. So first, you have these two things to work on. After that, you're gonna do color choices. And I'm gonna kind of just work with that today specifically. So for mine, I chose red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. Pretty close to the rainbow. And then what I decided was, where do I want this in my work? Do I want it to go from red, orange, yellow, green to blue, just like I have here across my work? Do I want to have it go red, orange, yellow, green to blue in this direction? And what I came up with was having blue in the center of my work and then going from red, orange, yellow, green to blue, but then going backwards so that blue was in the center and red was on the edges. So that is completely up to you in what direction you want the color to go. But as of right now, what I want you to do is we're gonna practice values and going from one color to the next color and shading it to blend really nicely in your work. So I need you to open either to a sketchbook page or have a free draw or copy paper so that we can practice changing colors. So I'm gonna pick, let's see, 3 to 4 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I want you to do is just practice with each one, going from dark to medium to light with each color. And I labeled it D for dark, M for medium, and L for light. So what I'm gonna do is, where it says dark, I'm gonna use my hardest pressure with my colored pencil and make that colored pencil mark really dark. Then where it says medium, I'm gonna take this dark and start pressing a little bit lighter than this to get that medium shade, or value, I should say. So if I look at it right now, it looks like it's going from dark to light, and you can see a very specific line where they change. We don't want to see that, so you're going to have to blend it a little bit better so that it gradually changes from dark to medium. So I'm just going back and forth over my lines, and you can start to see that it's gradually changing instead of very straightforward block of colors. And then my last one is light. So I'm going to go from medium to light. And you can still see that very distinct change of color. So I'm going to work on that spot in between to blend it down slowly. Okay, so I want you to practice this with all 3 to 4 of your colors. So I'm just making little notes, of dark, medium, and light for each color, just so that I remember as I'm practicing what I need to be doing. All right, you can work on this for a couple minutes as I work on mine. Feel free to pause at any moment if you need to take a couple more minutes to work on this. I might go a little bit faster just because I've done this lots and you are just practicing, so you need to take a little bit more time. All right, now that I have my 4 colors practiced from dark, medium to light, now I gotta figure out what order I want them in. So usually I would say go in the order of the color wheel: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So if I had these colors, it would go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So red, orange, and then we'd circle around purple, and then pink would mix in between purple and red. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this sheet and I'm gonna flip it on its side, and I'm gonna figure out what color order works best for me. So I'm gonna move these around. And now this is gonna get a little bit confusing, so I'm gonna try my best to explain it as best as I can. So I'm gonna take my first color and just write dark, medium, light. I'm gonna take my second color and write dark, medium, light. Third color, dark, medium, light. And my fourth color, dark, medium, light. So I'm basically gonna do the exact same thing with the colors that I have. And I'm gonna do that really quick. So you guys, if you want to, you can take your time to do this along with me. You can pause if you need to, but I'm just gonna shade this real quick. Okay, so if I look at this, my colors are really nice with the different value changes for each color, but they don't necessarily blend together. It's like a specifically purple, specifically pink, red, and orange. So I have this dark, medium, light, dark, medium, light, dark, medium, light, dark, medium, light here to show what I'm doing here. But now I'm gonna work backwards a little bit. So I'm gonna take my pink color, the second one that I'm doing, and since I keep doing dark, medium, light, I'm now gonna work backwards. So I have dark, and next to this L, I'm gonna write medium, and next to the M, I'm gonna write light. So now for backwards, I have dark, medium, light. So I want you to think for a second. What do you think I'm gonna do on top of this light? I'm gonna press medium with the color that I have right below it. So I'm gonna press with medium pressure on top of this one. And then on top of the medium, I'm gonna press with light pressure. So it's blending a little bit better, but since this is such a dark color, I might just have to go lightly a little bit on top of the dark, just to blend it down a little bit more. All right, so now this one blends a little bit better together. Now I'm gonna take the red and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna work backwards. So I have dark, medium, light. So on top of this light pink, I'm gonna do medium red. And on top of the medium pink, I'm gonna do lightly. So now there's a definite change between pink to red. So I'm just gonna keep working on it to make them blend smoothly together. And then with my last one, I'm gonna go from the bottom color. I have my dark, medium, light. So on top of my light red, I'm going to use a medium pressure with orange. And on top of my medium red, I'm gonna have a light pressure with my orange. So now going from having very specific colors to having a rainbow effect of colors where they all blend into each other, that is value and shading and blending all together. So blending one color into the next color by using different values, the darks, the mediums, and the lights of each color. So we started out with 4 colors, but now when I look at it, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different values in my work. So in your graffiti name, I am looking for at least 8 different value changes. So bringing you back to this, you can have the 8 different value changes in your letter, or you can have, let's say, 3 or 4 in your name, and then another 3 or 4 in your bubble letter. So you can use, let's say if you want to use like blues and greens in your letters, and then you want to use yellows and oranges in your bubble, that would be another way to add the extra values. So remember, you need to have at least 8 values. So the best option is to pick 3 to 4 colors, because then you'll get to 8. All right, once you're done with your work, please show it to me, and then you can move on to your final piece.